Okay, good morning, TikTokers. This is me, day number 5, I think, in the COVID unit in Fort Myers. I tested positive again this morning, and I'm fighting this off. My throat has never been so sore. It is like I'm afraid to swallow. It's that bad. And I know that everybody else has the same symptoms here. My understanding is this is like a subvariant of the Omicron that's particularly virulent, it's very powerful, and it's hard it's a mutation, right? And so, because people keep breathing on each other, and every time a virus makes a copy of itself, it either gets really weak or really, really strong. In this case, this one's really, really strong, and it is really devastating a whole bunch of people. I can hear all the coughing going on around me, and it's not like just cough, cough. It's like hacking, uncontrolled coughing. And so it starts off with the sore throat. This particular strain, whatever it is, I don't know what it is. And a very sore throat, and then progresses to the point where there's a lot of coughing going on. And by the time I realized that I had this COVID strain, it had been already 2 weeks since the onset of symptoms. And so the doctor at Lee Memorial told me, if you don't nip it in the bud right away, if you don't catch it within the first 7 days of infection, the antivirals are not likely to help you. So here I am, and pretty much everybody's in the same boat here. We just have a bed, and they feed us, and they take our vitals, and they give us our medications. Okay. But I can hear this coughing, this kind of uncontrolled coughing, especially at night. One of the things that I had said initially when we were at the Hertz Arena was that we were going to have an outbreak. Okay. And, I'm a woman of faith, and I believe that a lot of us have the gift of prophecy. There have been a lot of people from the time that the Bible was completed to now who have been prophets of God. And a lot of them have been healers. And one of them that comes to my mind is the prophet Nostradamus. A lot of people are skeptical about him and his gifts and so forth. One of the things he's most known for, of course, is his prophecies. But he was also a physician and healer. And he worked during the Black Plague. Okay? And there were several waves of plague that happened. But my understanding is one of the things that the Black Plague was attributed to was a bacteria called Yersinia pestis, which lived on the fleas of the rats who infested things like ships that went transcontinental ships. Okay, and so it was caused by a bacteria. And we have, when we think of germs, right? We think of bacteria, and everybody says, well, the way to treat that is antibiotics, and that's not true. Okay, first of all, not all bacteria responds to all antibiotics. But antibiotics were discovered, okay, by a scientist named Fleming, and they're naturally occurring for the most part, okay. Penicillin is naturally occurring. It occurs in mold, in bread, right? Okay. But antibiotics are used to treat bacterial infections. When you're talking about viral infections, viruses, from a scientific standpoint, are not living organisms, okay? Viruses, but the way virus works is it infects your cell, and it commandeers your cell to make more viruses, okay? It uses your cell's ability to replicate itself to help it make more viruses. And so that's how viruses work. They're not really living organisms. And once that happens, when you're infected with a virus, your cells make that virus. And then you start to shed that virus, and that's when you become infectious. So this particular strain is a respiratory one, right? We're coughing, and we're spreading that virus around through not just coughing, but One of the things is that there's a huge amount of mucus buildup. And that's why people are doing this uncontrolled hacking to try to get that thick mucus out of their um, lungs, okay? And I hear that at night, especially when people are laying down in their beds, trying to get that mucus out of their throats. You either, swallow it or spit it out, whatever they do. But they have to get that out of there. The cilia in your lungs are trying to push that out. And so, because it's past the viral time, okay, past the antiviral effectiveness, and we're forced to do this on our own, there's some things that we can do to help our recovery. And one of them is drink plenty of water, okay? I know most of the people here are not drinking plenty of water. I knew a lot of people at the shelter weren't drinking plenty of water, even though it was provided. People don't naturally like to drink water. And really, you need to drink about a liter of water a day. And, I'm the same way. I don't like having to go to the bathroom every 2 minutes, right? It's annoying. But you need to drink a lot of water. And the reason why is because you need to stay hydrated so that the mucus buildup in your chest is not so thick, okay? It loosens up and you're able to expectorate it, okay? That's one of the things. The sore throat that's associated with it makes it so painful to cough that, if you can take some Tylenol, if your liver can tolerate Tylenol, take Tylenol for the pain. But you need to be able to cough. One of the diseases that young people get, especially girls, is a disease called cystic fibrosis. And that's when the mucus buildup in your lungs is so severe that it inhibits your ability to breathe. And one of the therapies that people use, especially parents, you see young girls, on their stomachs, and then they kind of pat on their backs. It's called, I don't know what it's called, but I call it percussion therapy, okay? Percussion therapy. So if you have a caregiver who can lay you down and when you go in through those coughing fits, try to help loosen that up by patting on your back, and kind of chasing it up. That's helpful. If you have a small child, you can do that. If you're by yourself, you can just kind of pat on your chest and try to pad that up and loosen it up so that the cilia can push it up and you can expectorate it. I guess I'm just going to call it percussion therapy. There's a lot of practical ways that you can recover from things and take care of things that don't require you taking expensive antivirals or monoclonal antibody injections. And this is one of the ways. Just make sure you're hydrated, and very well hydrated. Take something for the pain, whether that be Motrin or Tylenol, whatever you can tolerate. And try the percussion therapy. Try to remain mobile. Don't lay in bed, okay? Initially, you want to lay in bed and just be miserable, right? But you got to be somewhat ambulatory so you can help facilitate moving of this. And eventually you get to the point where you're no longer shedding virus. Pray for that moment. And you're able to be discharged from a unit like this. I hope this helps you heal and recover from COVID. I pray that we'll all be able to come out on the other side of this particularly virulent, powerful variant, and heal. Hope this helps. Thanks for watching.